This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 627 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by feedxl.com. Accurate, unbiased nutrition information. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from Darley Newman. Darley is the host and producer of Equitrekking, the Emmy Award-winning travel television series to explore the globe on horseback. Equitrekking is broadcast on PBS stations across America, on Create, and on Horse and Country TV. Today's tip from Darley is about ranch vacations, why you're going to love them, what to pack, and maybe what to leave behind. But before we get to today's tip, a word about today's sponsor, feedxl.com. I just got my FeedXL newsletter the other day, and it was just brimming with information that I could put to use right away. For example, this little tidbit from FeedXL Top Tip number 35. Spring is just around the corner. As the grass begins to grow, you still need to concern yourself with your horse's nutrition, even if they're knee-deep in it. The mineral content in particular of fast-growing grasses and forages is often deficient in several key minerals required by horses on a daily basis. This is a good time to review your diets, which I did. Also, check out this super article written by Dr. Richards about spring pastures titled Spring and Autumn Pastures. Hit them up today. FeedXL.com. Review your horse's diet and learn a whole bunch about nutrition. Now enjoy today's tip. Welcome back, Darley Newman from Equitrekking, our favorite travel gal and horseback rider. What sort of tips do you have for us today?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about packing and getting ready to go on a ranch vacation, because there are some different things you need to think about for this type of vacation, especially as a rider and someone who's going to go out and ride on a ranch vacation. So I have some good tips for you from the different ranches that I've visited myself and things that I thought about on my travels.
Ooh, good. Let's hear them.
Okay, well, one thing is, so I'm an English rider primarily. So, if you are going on a ranch vacation, you are an English rider, you can wear your paddock boots. You don't have to bring cowboy boots. Now, it can be fun to go out and get cowboy boots, but just make sure that you break them in. And, they're well worn so that you're not hurting yourself on your vacation. And that's true with any gear and anything that you're going to travel with. And if you don't have maybe paddock boots or cowboy boots, you can use the all-terrain boots, or get some boots that have a hard sole and like you need a 1 or 1.5 inch heel. Really, it's safety. You don't want your foot slipping through the stirrup. So that's something to think about when you're going out to a ranch. It's for yourself and for your kids and your family, because you want to make sure that they're safe and they have a good experience.
And I'm sorry, your feet are going to be more comfortable, really, than if you were wearing sneakers.
And it's more, it's more secure. And, though, Jennifer, you can always call the place that you're traveling to and ask them what they have for you to borrow.
Oh yeah, you can borrow, and I know some of the ranches even have little stores, so you can do a little shopping before you go.
You can do shopping, and you can go all out as much as you want, or you can wear your English riding stuff if you're going somewhere too. So it's a total personal preference, but those are things to keep in mind. And another thing is just make sure that the jeans that you get, whatever jeans that you're going to wear, if you are going to wear jeans, that they have a flat inseam. I mean, I ride in a bunch of different jeans, and they're not all like definitely Wranglers or for riding, but I've really tested out different brands, and I just try them and see what works the best for me, because everybody is different. But you don't want to get a rub. That's not what you want on your vacation. And jeans can be so much fun, especially if you're going to a ranch. But just make sure that you're getting some that are maybe made for riding or have that flat inseam so that it doesn't doesn't rub you on the inside of your leg.
If for English riders, I would strongly recommend buying your jeans that are designed specifically for horseback riding because seam placement is crucial.
Yeah, I have a pair, actually. I have a pair of the Ariat jeans that have the little patches on the inside of the legs, and I wear them both for English and Western, so I think that's a good compromise. But they're all different kinds out there, so just see what's going to fit you best. What do you wear? Do you wear jeans when you go riding?
I do not. I am not a denim jeans rider. The seams are in all the wrong places for me. But I have recently discovered, because I've ridden English for most of my life, I have recently discovered boot cut breeches, and I am a convert.
I've got those too.
They are totally awesome.
Well, you know what I love about those? I'll wear them when I'm not riding.
Right. They're just super comfy.
Yeah, super comfortable. So why not? And, I will wear my riding tights with my regular, I wore them the other day with a dress. And
well, you're a little gutsier than I am. I'm pretty... I'm stuck in 1968 when it comes to clothing. But they're comfortable, and I don't have to get half chaps on and off, and I feel like I'm just wearing regular trousers, because if I'm wearing breeches that are breeches all the way to my ankles, I feel a little bit conspicuous, particularly because I am no longer a svelte equestrian. A sit at a desk for 18 hours a day equestrian. So the boot cut breeches, I find them emotionally a little more forgiving than traditional breeches, but they still have the advantages of being made of material that is hot and sweaty friendly, and all the seams that shouldn't be there aren't.
Well, that's another thing that you point out too, that sometimes people think about going on a vacation and riding every day, but you just keep in mind, whatever trip you plan, you might want to try to get one that's flexible as far as the amount of riding, because there are a lot of vacations out there where you are in the saddle for 4 to 6 hours a day. If you're not used to it, by day 2 or 3, you can be very sore. Now, I do this for a living, so I cannot even prepare for some of the riding that I do, and I am definitely sore on that second or third day. But another thing to keep in mind is you will get used to it the longer that you stay out there.
Yeah, the end of day 2 and all of day 3 are going to totally suck, but the last day will be pretty good.
Yeah, bring some Aleve or some pain reliever that you can take, because it really does help. Another thing that some people don't think about is, depending on, you mentioned a dude ranch. There's so many great dude ranches out there, and they're all so different. You can go to a dude ranch where you've got a TV in your room and there's a swimming pool, or you can hit one where it's more old-fashioned. And, I've been to a great one in Wyoming, T-Cross, where everything is, kind of historically put together so that, they don't use anything that is modern in remaking and maintaining the property, so that there's also not a TV. So keep it in mind, where you're going as to your entertainment level. And one thing that people don't think about now, like, you might want to bring an actual book instead of an e-reader, depending on where you're going. Like, you can't charge things in a lot of places as much as you would at home, especially if you're going to do a pack trip. And a lot of ranches do offer kind of side pack trips. So
and for the technology nuts out there, ask when you're talking to the proprietor if there is internet and cell, because in many places in the American West, neither is available. So ask that question.
Yeah, I actually really like that sometimes. In a lot of places that I've been to, I lose connectivity for a little while, and it feels great. I just tell you.
See, it wouldn't bother me a bit, but if I took Glenn, the geek, America's horse husband, on a vacation and didn't tell him that was going to happen, he would probably go through the DDTs or something. He would have a meltdown.
Now, where would be your dream destination if you were to go to a ranch? Is there a specific state or area that you would want to go to?
On my bucket list, I have a bucket list in my office. It is 18 by 24 in size, and it's stuck to the wall. And I want to ride in every one of the national parks out west.
Mm-hmm. Oh, love it.
Zion is really at the top. Mm-hmm. I really want to do Zion. To tell you the truth, Yellowstone isn't at the top, just because I've seen it so much on TV. But probably Zion National Park is really up there. I want to get into the backwoods, the the really, really old growth forests with the redwoods, and I want to see that from the back of a horse.
That's definitely a good thing to put on your bucket list. And there's so many great
I struck Smoky Mountains off my list this year. Although technically I think it might have been last year, but I got to ride in the Great Smoky Mountains this past time we went out. It was awesome. And the most exciting part about the entire trip is Glenn the Geek, America's horse husband, went along on a horse. And that was pretty huge because I think that's the 4th time he's been on a horse in his life. He's a driver, not a rider.
Wow.
And our wrangler, who was awesome, got him on board a old rickety, worn out saddlebred, and off we went and out on our trail ride. And he put Glenn right behind him because I've discovered now, I know the inside story, that the weakest link in the chain is right behind the wrangler. So they put Glenn right behind the wrangler. And wouldn't you know it, we weren't 10 minutes out the trail when we had to walk across a tiny little stream, but it had a little wooden bridge across it. And on the far side, there was a flock of turkeys, just doing what turkeys do. And just as Glenn's old rickety saddlebred stepped onto that old rickety wooden bridge, a turkey flew out of the tree and landed on his horse's head.
Oh, my goodness.
The horse never batted an eyelash.
Wow.
And
that's
it
awesome
literally
training for that one.
Skimmed
Either
across that horse's
he was very
ears.
well trained, or he was like close to death's door.
I don't know which it was. Now, Glenn just about had a meltdown, and I was sure we were going to turn around and go home right there because I was right behind him. And that's it. Glenn's going to turn around, go home, never do this again. But he had pride that he had to protect, so we kept going around, and he actually really enjoyed it. So
fun.
even those of you out there in the listening audience who have family members who are not necessarily horsey, taking a horse riding vacation, even if it's only limited riding and mostly vacation, it takes on a whole new meaning when you go out and you see the wilderness of America from on a horse. People who aren't horsey just fall in love with it.
Well, and it's so nice too, especially if you pick a place where you guys can all ride together. I think that can be such a great experience. And you know, you can gain so much confidence from riding, and especially exploring. You really feel like an explorer when you go out in a lot of these places, especially our national parks, where you're really out there in nature. And it's a special experience that you can't necessarily, get every day, and it's something to treasure, I think.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got the packing list here, folks. Get the family together. Hook your TV set up to your computer so everybody can surf together. Find yourselves a ranch to go on a family vacation, and then bring up Equitrekking.com and go to Packing Trips for Ranches Vacations. Watch the video, get it all figured out, and then book your trip, and then post it on the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and tell us how much fun you had.
That sounds good.
I think that's a great time. Well, thanks for stopping by with such great tips. I'm going to print this one out because, like I said, taking a ranch trip is on my bucket list. And now that I've gotten the Great Smoky Mountains scratched off, it's time to do the next one. And I think this should be our next one. So we'll see you next time, Darley.
That sounds good. Thanks.
Well, there you go. Every time I talk to Darley, I just get the bug to throw the suitcases in the Jeep and go somewhere. To listen to all of Darley's tips, just go to horsetipdaily.com, go to the experts drop-down menu on the left. You can also visit Darley at equitrekking.com to see what she's up to, or up-to-the-minute Equitrekking info. You can go to the Facebook page, EQUITREKKING. Don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. I support today's sponsors, feedxl.com. I go there at least 4 times a year to update Beaker's diet, make sure I'm feeding him the right stuff because it does change seasonally. That way I know I'm feeding him correctly and cost effectively without guessing. It's not wait and see. This is what he needs to eat because I know what's in the ingredients. I can also get great information from feedxl.com via their forums, their blogs, and all of their expert interactions. feedxl.com. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like to hear us cover on the show. You can subscribe to all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. You can also listen to the shows right on Facebook. The player's right there every day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.